longest 4 weeks of my life because one of y'all got to make it.
Exactly. You
One
got
of
you
y'all
got to
make
hear from one of them during that whole entire week.
Yeah,
And if Mahomes is in the Super Bowl, then I don't know.
If Mahomes is in the Super Bowl, I'm banking on Mahomes because he got some he dropping the checks. He got some
That's
refs on
true.
his side. You know,
That's
and some
true.
people are saying he got the refs on his side. Some of these,
I'm
some of
saying if
these
he there,
flops.
I don't know. I'm saying if he there, I don't know
Like
if
that, Tomo.
I don't know if I'm rooting for him to win that game. That's all I'm
I
saying.
understand. You sound like I don't know if you seen the post where they was asking Patriots fans who do you want to actually root for to make it to the Super Bowl? Do you want the Chiefs or the Patriots? And it's kind of like the Chiefs or the Bills. And it was like, as a Patriots fan, I hate the Bills, but I also don't want to see Mahomes do it.
Keep winning.
You know what I mean? Like they feel like us a little bit. So I ain't
They
mad.
threat to Brady.
Man, it sucks to be a fan of one of those teams right now, but if your team is still in it, it's kind of nice. But also, it's the Texas area right now, man. It's cold down there. They're getting another blizzard, and now they got to deal with coming back home, seeing that they lost to the Chiefs 23-14. When some people would say they had a chance to make it, but that late hit call helped the Chiefs get that 8 points to secure the victory. And now they're all like, well, they're in the press conferences. You all seen what Joe Mixon said. You all seen what Coach came out and said. He almost slipped up and got that fine, but he was like, just us versus everyone. So I'm glad he did that. But you still gonna get that FedEx, my boy, because you called out the officials. So the real question, and we have to answer it here, was were the refs the main reason why the Chiefs won that game? Joe?
Nah, I never the one to blame the refs unless you're the New Orleans Saints in the playoffs and your DB just tackled the receiver, you know. But outside of that, man, if it's not like the refs ain't do that. But I gotta say that those were some bad calls. Like, you know, especially that first one, the illegal hit on Mahomes by I think it's Will Anderson. That was a momentum changer because that was on third down.
Bruh,
They got off the field, and then when he did that, and they got points off. They got points off both turnovers. Sorry, off both penalties.
Yeah.
And then you might want to blame the refs because the Texans had more yards, more passing yards, more rushing yards, more yards per play, more first downs, better on third down, more plays. They ran 15 more plays than them, right? And they had no turnovers, and they won the time of possession. But they still lost by, what was that, 11? Lost by 11, by 9. And the reason why they lost is kind of what me and Carl talked about, how the first time they played, I mentioned on the last RTL show on Friday, they will move the ball downfield, but they just weren't finishing drives. There were multiple times when they got to midfield and they stalled out. The first time they got to the 46-yard line. It was first down on the 46-yard line, Chiefs 46-yard line. They ended up taking a sack on fourth down, and that was like 4th and 20. So like even if you wanted to go for it, you're not going to do it because you took a sack. So now they got to set up for a punt. Then they attempted a 55-yard field goal. I know it's a long field goal, but hey, every point matters, right? They missed a 55-yard field goal. Then another instance, they got to the Kansas City Chiefs 40-yard line, 1st and 10. They ended up with 4th and 10 on the 40-yard line. They got no yards on first down, second down, third down. They went for it and went 4 and out. Not 4 and out, but turnover on downs. So you can't have wasted drives like that. If you're going to move the ball, you got to capitalize with some points. You know? So now the penalties did hurt them, but it wasn't the reason why they won. They lost that game.
You know why they lost that game?
Wow.
Texas offensive line. Stroud got sacked 8 times that game, and the blitzes was coming from everywhere. That offense, and then I think what was it, Mixon? He was the only one that actually scored a touchdown. The special teams for the Texans was also terrible. Like you talk about the 55-yard miss, but then you got to also think about the field goal that was blocked. It was a field goal that was blocked also, and I think they gave up a return. I can't recall that one. But
they give up the first one, the opening kick.
I think So special teams, your offensive line was terrible, but your defense was one of the main key factors that was keeping you in the game. Now that call. And I understand why a lot of people are upset about it because he was literally running around. And then when he slid to give himself up, they didn't even touch him. Like you can see they actually hit each other. Like that was the wild part. But for the referees, can give them their names, but I'm gonna give them to you, Dave, so you could put them in the doghouse. I got the names of the referees from the game because it was just like, here we go yet again, and then this adds to the mystique of why a lot of people say they don't want to go up to Arrowhead, and then you got to play them. But it's funny that the parallel universes between the Chiefs and the Patriots is getting crazier because you got the quarterback, tight end, you got the head coach, and now you got the referee situation. Not saying that the Chiefs, they don't got the Spygate thing, but a lot of people say Brady used to get these same calls where it was just like, man, you can't touch Brady, or here you go. So the parallel universes between these two teams is insane. But I don't think the refs were the only reason why. Because again, after that call, they got the 8 points. You still got the ball back. So it was still time to make plays to make something happen, and you just couldn't do it because your offensive line was terrible. So I would say it was part of the reason, but the refs weren't the main reason why they lost. Go ahead, Dave.
Man, them refs getting paid by the Chiefs. I don't care what nobody say. They getting paid. They are getting paid. Nah, all serious, no. That's everything you said, Tom, was pretty much the same thing I was gonna say. And that offensive line didn't help CJ Stroud at all, but CJ Stroud also didn't help himself sometimes. There were times where he held the ball too much, and when he got time, and he was sacked. You can also say that he was still missing two of his weapons. Okay, everybody right now has someone injured on the team that they're missing. So I want to make sure that no one uses that as an excuse, because that's not an excuse that's acceptable at this point at this point in time. The Chiefs, those two calls on Patrick Mahomes were bad. The one by Will Anderson and the other one that you were talking about, Tomo, both of those calls were bad. Because they were, especially the one that Joe mentioned, because that was a stop for the defense, and they were playing really good. This Texans defense is why they are where they are right now, for real, because their defense has been the most consistent almost all season long. They've had a few mishaps here and there, and that's going to happen because your defense is not going to be perfect every single game. But in games where they've been needed, this defense has shown up, especially in a situation like this. Right? When you plan against a team like Mahomes, you want to make sure that you don't make mistakes. You got to play your perfect game. And this defense pretty much played close to perfect as what they need to do to be able to just to keep their team in the game. But the offense just could not do much. They really couldn't run the ball that much. They got a few good passes here and there, but it wasn't consistent. And the protection was just bad. I think some of the play calls was bad too. I'm not sure what Bobby Slowick was doing as plan for this game, but some of the calls just didn't make sense. Some of the offensive calls, some of the plays that he made just didn't make sense. And the Chiefs just took advantage of it. They got it's a good field goal position, which they got in good field position to put them in opportunities to score early. Like you said, I think that kickoff return was like a 65-yard kickoff return that happened at the beginning of the game. And I'm like, all right, well, you're pretty much giving them the okay to go ahead and go win the game. And it's early. Game just started.
Right.
But I mean, that's what happens. You have to play close to perfect when you're playing against a team like the Chiefs. And as long as they got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce just kept getting open. Like that's his biggest weapon. That's his best offensive weapon. And you continue to let him get open. Like, that's the only thing that confused me about the defense is that every single time when you knew that Travis Kelce was going to get the ball, he was wide open. And like Joe said, in the middle of the field, like, he's going to go right there. You should have someone right there checking him, or just have some kind of coverage to where you make sure he don't get open. You let everyone else beat you. Let Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, let those guys beat you. You don't let Travis Kelce get hot.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But like I do want to give CJ props. He uses his legs a lot more to move the sticks. He had 6 scrambles for 42 yards. And a lot of that was him just moving the sticks. And you gotta do that, man, so you can become a threat. Like, people gotta be able to when they gotta contain that's an extra guy you don't have to worry about in the passing lanes, right? And I'm not gonna. I know, Tom. I know you said a patient in the cheeks. The reason why it seemed like that because they winning. The winning teams get the benefit of the doubt with the referees. I'm telling you, bro. When we played the Lions, bro, they called a false start on us when they were clearly offsides. Clearly
That's a false
offsides.
start.
And then they called a face mask on us when it was he grabbed his shoulder pad.
I
It
seen that.
happens. Here's
He
the
touched-
difference, though.
He touched his face mask.
No, he didn't. The difference is you gotta capitalize on the listen. I'm like, you gotta overcome the penalties. That's the difference. You gotta overcome the penalty. The Texans did not overcome the penalty. The Eagles get calls, right? They get calls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Y'all get calls when y'all play the Lions in the playoffs, right, Tomo? Y'all get calls. Green Bay got calls when they play y'all, right?
Joe.
So
What we doing?
I'm sorry to bring up old news. I'm sorry to open up a new one. I'm sorry. I mean, an old one. My bad. I'm sorry. I know you had it stitched up and all that. My bad. But my whole thing is, you gotta overcome it. You gotta go into the. They said we go into the game. It's us against the Chiefs. So why are you complaining? You knew that going to the game. So when it happens, overcome it, and they did not. They kept stalling out on drives. So I'm not gonna blame the ref because I'm going to this Eagles game expecting that too. But guess what? As long as I got JD5, I'm alive. But go ahead, y'all.
Shout out to Patrick Mahomes and the
nothing to
Chiefs.
do with JD.
You see what he did though? I see what's going on,
Had to
man.
throw it in there. Oh my god.
But shout out to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, man. They never lost the divisional round of the playoffs. The Texans still have never won the divisional round of the playoffs. And also Mahomes, Kelsey, and Andy Reid become the fourth coach in NFL history to win 300 career wins. So shout out to them, man. So you're right. It's the winning. That's why the parallel universes are like, man, it just keeps happening. But we got to move on to another game.